All right, we are recording. Good afternoon or sort of morning if you're on the West Coast. And happy Wednesday, hump day to you all. I'm Thomas Garrison in this corner, and over in that corner is Arthur Moorhead chewing on something to keep himself healthy. And I've been doing this for about 25 years. He's been doing it close to 20 years, developing websites and applying SEO. So anybody has questions that we don't get answered here, get in touch with us after the meeting, and we'll do our best to help you. We're also here for hire. So if anybody needs help on anything, even if it's just consulting, I really enjoy consulting with people. I have no problem with that at all. So if you guys are just looking for somebody to consult with in order to be able to get your work done on your site, get in touch with us. We're here. So that said, I know I asked this question before about anybody being at the top of the search engine, so we know that that's it. And last week, everybody said their site was flatlined. So that's a good time to discuss what we're doing today. Page speed. Now, I can sit here and tell you all kinds of things about page speed. And I'm not sure how many people pay that much attention. So I'm going to pull up a couple of different spots. Not this one. All right. So I'm going to share my screen, and it's something that I haven't been doing recently just because I'm trying to get you folks to be more involved with what's going on. So if I push you to search instead of just showing you on my screen, then it seems to sink in better. All right. Let me make a couple of notes. And so I'm going to go over here. The question I think a lot of people ask, and I know that they ask me personally, but they're asking themselves, just how fast does a page have to be? And when you say under 3 seconds for mobile devices, I would say most people, and maybe I'll get a show of hands, do you feel that your pages load in under 3 seconds? We only have like 3 people on camera today. But either or a thumbs up or something like that, if you think that your pages load in under 3 seconds. Anybody? Robert says his do. Bill is agreeing his do not. Let me go over here to page 2 and see if anybody's got a thumb up. Nope. Nobody. Kavitha? Yours load under 3 seconds for a mobile device? Okay.
Nobody wants to be a target.
Well, and I have a no in the chat. Speaking of chat, if anybody wants to ask a question, and I don't want anybody to ever feel picked on or anything like that. So if you have a question that you don't want others to see, send it directly to me. I'll ask it and I won't say who wrote it. Unless it's Maury or Arthur or Robert, then I'm going to tell everybody who it is. Okay, so and somebody is saying, didn't know that that was an area to measure. Yes. And I'll tell you why. I would bet that there are an awful lot of people here who use their phones. I mean, they're basically attached to it because they're using that phone all day long. And you don't sometimes think about how fast a page loads, but when you go to a site, you click on it, you go, not loading fast enough, and then you go back. How many people do that? They leave the site right away and go back and find another one that might load faster on their phone. Hands, thumbs up. Anybody? I see one in chat says, yep, and another one, thumbs up. Okay. So of those people who just said that, and yeah, but actually quite a few people who got the mobile devices, and they do that very thing. And It's it's not the internet connection. That's very nice of you to think that way for other people. Now, the overall, and it's not just a suggestion, it's a mandate from Google. And and I've got somebody else saying that it's slow, just tested it. Sometimes slow loads are due to network congestion. In as much as that may be true, I would bet that mobile users, they kind of go, well, it's around 5 o'clock, between 5 and 6, somewhere in that area. They're going to say, yeah, if it takes a little bit longer, they would give it to them. But generally speaking, Google is telling you, and here's the rub. This is what you all need to hear. Under 3 seconds, or Google's not going to let your pages appear in the search results for mobile devices. Am I letting that soak in for everybody? Yes. Fast from the phone. Well, guess what? You've been there before. If quote unquote my site loads fast on my phone, I've been there. My phone's already got the cache. That's cheating. The only way to know how fast any single page on your site loads is to use Lightspeed. And before I get to that, excuse me, it's a Lighthouse. You need to be on a Lightspeed server for Lighthouse to get a really good score. Now you can see in this search that I've got sitting up here, 1 to 2 seconds. Goes along with what Google is saying is under 3 seconds. This one is saying 53% of mobile sites are abandoned if pages take longer than 3 seconds to load. That's a tremendous number of sites where mobile device users are just plain leaving. A 2-second delay in load time results in abandonment rates of up to 87%. So folks, this is not something I'm making up. This is stuff that you can look up and see how fast does the site need to be. I found another one, which I'm going to put this one in the chat because this is a pretty good read. Does G do that currently, or are they going to stop showing them in the future? Oh, they are. It is the mandate right now, and it has been for more than a year. That doesn't mean that for some reason you won't find sites that are slow in the mobile results. One reason that I can see them there is it's an ad. Well, if you're paying Google, Google's not going to tell you that you can't have that ad because you're paying. So they're going to let the ads be there. And mobile device users know that today there are 4 ads at the top, not 3 anymore. So if there are ads that are obviously they're being paid for, yeah, Google's going to say, well, we don't care if that one's slow. The mobile device users are not going to go to it just because it's there. They get there, they realize it's slow, they still bounce. That's up to whoever paid for the ad. So don't worry about that. You need to make sure that your pages are loading fast. And we won't go through this whole thing, but it's in general, this is a real decent article that's telling you got to be under 2 seconds and why and how to do things. So here's the test. I want everybody to, does anybody here not have Chrome on their machine? Thumbs, chat, hands up, say something. I haven't muted anybody, but everybody's good to be muted. All right, so if everybody has Chrome, okay, I see one person has Opera. I used to use Opera thinking that it was nice, but there were some problems a couple of years ago that didn't seem to get straightened out for more than a year. I left Opera. So if everybody has Chrome except for maybe one person, this is still going to work. I want you to open Chrome and go to any page of your own website. Yes, now. Some people were kind of looking at me like, okay, well, what am I doing? Go to any page of your website. Okay, I'm going to go on to the next step. I'm looking at page 2 here because there's so many people. Making sure raise your hand in the chat or in the video, your camera, do something to get my attention to say I'm not ready yet. Otherwise, I'm going to step 2. All right, in Chrome. And that's fine. You can have all the others that you want, but we're interested just in Chrome for this particular test. So on Chrome, any place on the page, I want you to do a right click. And in the last option, it says inspect. Click on inspect. Kind of waiting a little bit because I want to make sure everybody understands how to do that.
You wanna share your screen?
That will actually in a second. I'm actually going to go a step farther. In the top right of Chrome, so we make sure to do this right. Top right of Chrome, everybody should see the 3 dots. Top right up there in the address bar, the 3 dots. Click on the 3 dots and select the third one down, New Incognito Window. Yep, you'll just get a black page. So it's a little strange when you first see it, but that's fine. Anybody that is not there, try to get my attention and I'll slow down, but I'm going to go to the next one. Yep. Oh, does that say that you can't get in there, Justin?
I'm in. I'm in.
Oh, you are in. Okay, so everybody's got incognito open with a black page. Copy and paste the address of whatever page of your website that you had in Chrome and paste it into the address bar of incognito. Did that all make sense? So we want the incognito window to be able to go to your website. Everybody with me so far? Okay, now I will share the screen. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Nothing there. So drop in an address and, oops. I can just do this, click, copy that, go to incognito and paste. So everybody see how that is done. Where did everybody go? Here they go. Okay, so everybody sees that you've got your address in the address bar of incognito. Just hit the enter key and you go to the site. Anybody having trouble with this part so far? This is really important for all of you. So make sure that you understand how to do this. And that's why I'm going so slow. Okay, right click and you'll see this and go to inspect. Once you are on your website in incognito, right click and go to inspect. Everybody got that done? you're gonna see this gobbledygook in the screen. Okay, so is there anybody who has not seen what I've got sharing on my screen? Okay, so I'll go to the next one. Pretty much in the center of this first bar, it says Lighthouse. Somebody's got something in chat. Do I need to see? Justin's not there? No, okay, you can, either way, you can be on the PC or you can do it in your phone. As long as you can right click and get to an incognito window, you decide which device that you're going to use. Justin, you're having a hard time still?
Yes. On my phone, it's a problem. I don't know. When you say right click, I don't know. You know, I go to the three dots, I'm fine, but right clicking, I don't know what you mean. I mean, I know what a right click means, but it's a tablet. So, well, it's a
This
phone.
this is easier if you're using a desktop, but
Right.
for those who are really using their mobile device all the time, this is extremely good for you to learn this, because you're going to find out why you bounce from websites.
It's tough to do it from a mobile phone. It's tough
Yeah,
to-
I don't disagree. That's why I don't do anything having to do with web development on a phone.
Yeah, it's always best to use a desktop to test it.
Kay, do you know how to right click on your phone? No. The mobile device users who are here. Anybody know how to right click on their phone? Okay, so nobody knows the tricks of mobile phones to right click. I admit I don't either, because I refuse to use a mobile device for any kind of development purposes. It's just way too cumbersome, and it slows you down tremendously. Just doesn't work, is what it turns out to. So if you've got a PC sitting there in addition to your phone, you'll whip that out in just a couple of seconds. If you don't have a PC there for you, then you can watch as we go through the rest of this. For those who do have a PC, the next thing to do is click on the word Lighthouse that's in this bar.
Can I ask a question?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm at the first part of Incognito because I was having some technical difficulties, like you said, on the phone, but I then moved into a PC. I'm at Incognito, so I hate to do this. I'm sorry, y'all, but what was the next step?
That's fine. No, that's why we're here. If you have in another window, if you have got, or another tab, you've got your website up, any page of your website. You need to copy the address from the address bar into the incognito address bar. Does that make sense?
Yes, okay.
I don't see the lighthouse.
Okay.
Thing.
Hold on just a second. I see that on a Mac, you're not sure how to right click.
Mm.
Oh,
Please,
hold on a second. Let me see if I can.
Bill, on the right, you'll see a cog at settings on your developer tool there. If you
Oh, the
click
cog?
on the set, if you
Oh,
click
I
on
don't
this,
have.
I'm sorry,
Yeah, it came up system preferences.
with the cog right there is your settings, and you can click on that and you should see Lighthouse.
I see preferences. Click on preference. System layout auto.
Okay, let's go back here, Bill. You're having trouble trying to pull up.
Lighthouse.
You have incognito, you just don't have the inspect.
No, I did that. I'm at settings and preferences.
Oh,
not
well,
sure.
you're not, you don't want to be in
Mm.
settings. That's the three dots. You
Okay,
went to an incognito window,
yeah, got that.
then you're right clicking on the page. Not the three dots.
Oh, it's right clicking on the page.
Yeah.
Okay. On the page, that's,
Click inspect.
yeah, I've got that. I see all this stuff, the code. I see the
Okay.
code. Yeah,
And then
I don't
Lighthouse
see
is in the
Where is
center bar.
it's where?
Do you see my mouse on the screen here that I'm sharing?
Oh, man.
Bouncing all over the place?
Oh, it's it. Okay, it says Lighthouse. Okay, let me see if I
Yeah.
can.
And you
yeah.
click on that. For
Yeah,
those
that-
who have a Mac or the person who has a Mac, it's control click.
I don't see that.
I have it open wide.
Hold the control button and then click.
I'm not seeing, I'm seeing elements and console, sources, network performance, memory. Lighthouse, I see it now. Okay, that's okay. It was hidden in there. All right. Analyze page load, maybe. We got it. It's back.
So does everybody have the right click handled? I see Kimberly was having a little trouble. My numbers come up with the right.
I see it has mobile listed there. So I see it.
Yeah, depending on how the layout is, sometimes like my
Sometimes they
dev
come
tool
on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
is on the right-hand side.
that's just personal preference, but whether it's on the right or left side or down at the bottom, you'll see that gobbledygook.
Okay, so when we get to Lighthouse, we hit analyze page
Yeah.
load.
Once we're in Lighthouse, I was trying to get everybody on the same page at the same time. So do I have the Mac people also into the right click? They were having trouble with that. Kimberly?
Oh, nice stuff.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Oh.
I'm waiting for everybody else. I'm
Okay,
sorry. My
good.
question
All right.
was, if I'm using a laptop, is that for the device to
That's fine.
choose PC or mobile?
No, that's fine. Just as long as you're not on a little tiny mobile that's really cumbersome, you should be fine. Okay, so if everybody's on their website and they've gone to right click and inspect, then you click on Lighthouse. And you want on the left side, under mode, you want navigation selected. It's probably selected by default.
Yeah.
In the center, device, mobile. That is extremely important because we don't care about desktop. So click on mobile. Once you've got that, you can select all the categories. You don't need the plugins. That's developers would deal with that. So if you've got all those
Hey,
things
hold on
checked,
one second. Hold on one
Okay.
second. I didn't see what you said after you do Lighthouse.
Lighthouse, once you click on
Mhm.
Lighthouse, you'll see this screen that I've got here. You want,
Yeah, I don't see that. That didn't populate for me.
Did you click on the word Lighthouse?
Yes. I'm about to go back and try it again.
And it-
Specs.
You may have something like this. This bar, this lower area moves up or down.
Say that again. I wasn't looking at your screen.
Oh, for anybody that is having trouble trying to see what I'm seeing, you might have this area covering. So when you see the double arrows, just move it down.
All right, let me go back.
You're looking for generate a Lighthouse report. Want to make sure that you see that. Did you get it, Coach?
No. You can go ahead and move forward. I'll play around with it and try to find out what's going on.
Well, you can go back up and you click on inspect again. And if you got that part, then we need to make sure that you see everything that you see on my screen. Do you see this part?
I see all the fancy text and everything, but it's not showing me where you're saying to go get the reports. It's not showing that for me.
Do you see this bar first when you first clicked on inspect?
Hold on, let me make sure I minimize my screen so I can see both yours and mine. Okay, so what was that again? See what bar?
After you click on inspect, I'll start at this again. Any place on the page, right click, hit inspect.
Mm-hmm.
And then in this first bar, you should see lighthouse right about the center.
Right. See, my lighthouse wasn't there. I had to click on something else and didn't show the lighthouse, but I did click on lighthouse.
Okay. And once
And
you click on lighthouse, you should see this.
Nope. I see all the fancy text.
Where you see the stuff down below here, improve debugging and stuff.
No, I see all the,
That's the one, yeah.
Sometimes you have to turn it on in the settings
where's that?
over on the right where the cog is. You see the cog on the far right? No,
Oh,
the gear, yeah.
open device. Hmm. Settings. So where are settings and then where else? Where do I go to turn on?
I was just gonna say, I haven't gone into this part. This doesn't say lighthouse, so it's gotta be one of these others. Sorry, I didn't hear whoever that was, that last thing. Say it's under preferences, what, Arthur?
Think it would be there, but I don't see it either.
Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't have to install Lighthouse to Chrome.
No,
It should
it's-
already be there.
It's part of Chrome, which also makes it part.
I've never heard of it not being there. That's what made me think of the settings.
Huh.
Nope, I see all the HTML text and everything. I
Are
don't see.
are you in Chrome or are you on Firefox?
Yeah, I'm in Chrome. No, I'm in
Oh.
Chrome.
Did you
Hmm.
click on view page source or inspect?
I clicked on inspect. So I'm about to close everything out.
Try it one more time
I'm gonna right click.
and make sure you hit
I'm clicking
inspect.
inspect. Yep, I hit inspect.
Because if you see the HTML, that's the source.
Yeah, when I click on inspect, the first thing that comes up says elements, and then it gives me all the HTML text.
Okay. Look to the right of elements.
Mm-hmm.
The 8th one over is lighthouse.
You know, I've clicked on like, so the way mine appears on my screen, it has elements, console, sources, network, and then it's like the little arrows that I have to actually click, and it comes up with the rest: performance, memory,
Right.
application, lighthouse. So I click on lighthouse.
Right. Yeah, sometimes it pops
All right,
up
there
on
it
the
goes.
right.
Now it's up.
Okay.
All
Cool.
right, thank you.
Oh, we got you.
Yes,
All
thank
right.
you.
See, his view is different from what you're seeing. You can set your developer tool to either appear on the bottom, on the right, or on the left. So if it's on the right, you're gonna see those little carrots on the right of the menu. And you click on that, and that'll pull the drop down to where you'll see Lighthouse.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
I would suggest that if anybody does have the stuff pushed to one side or the other, developers usually do that because they want more space. But for you, in what you're going to do, you're better off with it on the bottom, but don't try to mess with it right now. If you have navigation, mobile, and the categories, all the things in the categories checked, then the next step is just click on Analyze Page Load. And sit back for about 30 seconds, and it's going to show you the results.
Can you repeat that again? What is it? What's it's gonna say? What is it gonna say?
When you click on the page load speed or analyze load speed, this is what you're going to get.
Okay. So when I clicked on my website, I came up in very quickly. I guess not significant enough for me to question it.
Even if everything came up fast, ignore that. What
Okay.
number do you have in performance?
Yeah, I can't get into that screen
That's
because I'm on tablet.
Oh,
Well, on my
on
phone,
tablet,
that
you
turns
should be
into a
able to
tablet.
get to it.
Well, I don't. I was having problems with this.
Oh, okay.
Mine says 53.
You can actually, if you wanted to also do it, it's not as accurate, but it'll still get you a good picture. Go to Google and search Lighthouse. And
Oh my gosh, y'all.
you'd be able to do that. Okay, so I'm guessing from the response I just heard that everybody has seen
Google.
their numbers.
Lighthouse.
Yeah, and y'all, I'm the worst performing. I'll be honest, I got 11.
Whoa,
Yeah.
okay.
You don't know
Yeah,
what.
you need to get in touch after the meeting.
I know, right?
Hold
Jeez.
on.
Now-
His
Now I
name
have
is-
my SEOs, but
No, let me, I'll correct everybody. Make sure that you understand this, people. Where you see the SEO, that does not mean the value of how you've applied your SEO to the pages. So
oh,
basically, in general, none of the numbers mean anything to you except performance. To a developer, it means a great deal. It's going to tell us a lot of stuff about why things got the
I'm
number
here.
they do.
Parking front. I'm looking at you.
What's that, Justin? Okay, so,
The SEO that you see there, that's for technical SEO.
right,
That's for your on-site basic things that you need to get by this tool.
it is, in other words, is the code that SEO needs, has that been applied to the pages? In other words,
what's PWA?
well, there's a lot of things that have information in here, but what I want everybody to see, the performance is the main one. We're talking about page speed. What does that 3 seconds amount to? Up to 3 seconds needs to be at a minimum in the high 90 or high 80s.
Hmm.
If you're not in 87, 88, 89, you need to do some work on the page. So 11, yeah, just work on. It means looking at your images. It means looking at what's loaded in the page, how many plugins that you have, the cache. There's a tremendous amount of stuff that goes into it. And the performance information will tell you, if you pull this up, you'll see the blocking time, the largest content paint. Doesn't mean a whole lot to you, but generally speaking, the first content full paint and the speed index, yes, those mean something to you. And so does the overall number. Gee,
Even though you have an e-commerce site with a lot of products on it.
yeah, because you're not on that page, are you?
No, but
You're on
I'm
home.
on the home. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on my homepage.
Okay, I
And
need help.
it isn't just that site. This is one that's pretty typical for a lot of people.
So the performance needs to be higher than what? Was that again?
A minimum of, I'd say 87.
Hmm.
If your goal is to try to hit 90, that's a good goal.
You say the minimum is 80%. So 83 is not cutting it, huh?
Correct. You're at the low side. It sounds to me like that particular page wouldn't need a whole lot to get into the 90s. If you're at 83 now, I would
50.
say
53.
53.
Yeah.
You got a lot of work.
Okay. All right.
So
It
this
sort
is,
of tells you down there what's going on.
and somebody says, does having video on the page affect the performance? Yes.
Yeah.
Can we see your metrics? Which metrics would you like? I can show you this. Is that what you're talking about? Of course, this is showing me for the other site that I just did. This one had 100, but incognito apparently is showing me both. The point is, I don't have to worry. I mean, I've got that. I mean, I knew what needed to be done. Okay, so how to improve the score? That's where it gets really deep. This part, just inspecting to see what your page speed is extremely important for you. So you will see this is what is happening on this particular page. And when you say, well, it loaded really fast on my phone. No. You can't do it that way. First of all, you've already been to your site pages, so it's cached. So it's going to load a lot faster than it will for the person who's never been there. The speed index is directly related to people who have never been to your site. They don't know how to get there. So if it takes longer than 3 seconds, they usually bounce.
So,
And Lisa.
so question. I'm so sorry that I'm like playing from behind. I switched off
Okay.
from my computer to my tablet thing. So I'm on my website. You mentioned going to the third new in private window, which I've done. And then I put my website back in here, correct?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm like playing from behind everyone.
No, that's okay. I mean, this
okay.
is critical, so you really need to understand how to do this.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm up, and then you say I right click.
Once the page is up in incognito, right click
Yes.
and go to inspect.
Okay, I did. Okay.
And then make sure that you've got the first one is the navigation. Device is mobile. Categories, you can select all of them. And
Oh,
when
God,
you have
no.
all of those checked,
Okay. All right, I just see a bunch of gibberish. All right, hold on. I'm moving down. Oh God. All right, I don't know what the hell. All right.
You probably clicked on page source instead of inspect.
I right clicked in a bunch of welcome elements console and a bunch of gibberish when I go down. And
Okay, FedEx is 1378.
inspect
Stamps
is,
is 11.
make sure that you hit inspect.
I did do inspect. Yes, I did.
And if you're off to the side,
Days.
if these things are off to the side, then
Yes.
see that it's more difficult to read it. That's why I keep it at the bottom of the page.
Yeah, the default setting is to the right. That's what everybody's seeing.
Yeah, I did the inspect. What should I look for?
Okay,
In-
at the top
in-
of your menu, you'll see a menu extension with 2 little arrows. Click on that and it'll drop down, will pull up, and you'll see Lighthouse.
Hold on. So I'm looking for Lighthouse, long story, right?
Right.
Jesus. What the hell? Okay.
Now, Tyler was asking, is Lighthouse better than PageSpeed Insights? They're basically the same, but doing it the way that we're showing you, which is in incognito, it takes away anything that could interfere with the quality of the results, with the accuracy of the results. So you're going to see what a mobile device sees as far as the load time if you do it this way. There are other ways to check, but they may not be as accurate. I want you to see what Lighthouse shows you, because that's what Google is going to use as a determining factor on your speed. And Bill, yes, can we analyze all the pages and then go back and start on the worst one? Yeah, you can do it however you want. It's just, this is the way to analyze one page.
Here's one, I got it. Yeah.
So every time that you're working on anything in your site, you do it one page at a time.
Right. Yeah. They have the ADD problem, so I'm all over the place.
And 3G, 4G, 5G speed throttling due to high traffic conditions affect load time. That's a good question. I'm going to refer to the Google information, which I have not seen anything about whether you're on 3G, 4G, or whatever. My phone is, I think, on 4G, but I don't use it for development. So if the page, the bottom line is, and this is the hardest part to get, the bottom line for a website, web development, anybody's, is the pages need to be screaming fast.
Yeah.
Now, if you check Lighthouse and you've seen your pages are, as I was showing you, these two different sites. One was at 100. This one had, what, 93 the first time? It's got 91 now. That's slow for this site. A lot of times it'll get 100. A lot of times they reverse. But sometimes it's 90 on one and then 100 on the other. But if I'm 90 plus at any given time,
Here it is.
site, then I'm fine. And if you can see yours, Justin, what kind of speed?
Okay. I just got Lighthouse. What do I do? Analyze page load?
Analyze page load. Make sure that you have checked the navigation, mobile, and then those categories.
Or Lighthouse is warming up. So, okay. Yeah. Performance, accessibility, best practice, SEO, progressive web app.
Okay. What's your performance number?
Lighthouse is warming up.
Oh,
Jesus, it's taking a while. So I don't think that's good.
it takes 20, maybe 30 seconds on the outside.
Okay.
If you've tested with whatever device that you've gone in and tested with Lighthouse, it's going to tell you what the speed is, which is why I'm saying do not trust your phone. Do not trust the device that you're using to try to give you an idea of the speed for the page. That means nothing. This is what Google is using to test your pages. If you don't use it, then you're not getting an accurate render of your page speed. If you don't have page speed, mobile device users just leave. If the site loads over 3 seconds, now you're into the low 80s, down to the 70s, and then you just drop off as it gets even further down the speed. When you think, well, why is it such a big deal? If I can hit the, the high 70s or something, that should be good enough. Nope. Google is not going to serve your pages, and this is coming from Google. It's not going to put your pages in the search results for mobile devices. Why do you care about mobile devices? Because they make up better than 70% of the searches done in Google. So that was kind of a long way around, but if you don't care about mobile devices, that's like saying, well, I can get away with not having 70% of the business I could get. Okay, I need your job then. You're throwing away 70% of what could be potential sales. I need your job. It's that simple, folks, that pages, all your pages need to be fast. How to get them that fast? If you go through the details from the Lighthouse, it'll show, okay, you've got JavaScript is in the way, you've got this, and off to the right, it shows you how many milliseconds that you're losing as a direct result. If you're 10 or 20, that's nothing. But if you're a couple of hundred, that's seconds. So if it's taking, and I've seen them up to 10 seconds for rendering blocks, things that just aren't loading, and it's causing 10-second delays. How do we improve our score? Lighthouse isn't going to improve it. That's where the manual labor comes in by reading. Is it your images? Which I would say that's like 99% of the time that I look at something going, well, a lot of problem is your images. If you have a developer, most developers would simply throw in this gigantic picture, even though it's only going to be displayed this big. That is one of the problems. You can't do that. And before you ask why, I'll tell you why. Because the browser has to slow down to figure out, okay, I've got to take this gigantic picture that's 2000 by 1500 pixels and resize it to this small image that you want to display. Now, you would think that a browser can go, it's done. Doesn't work that way. And on a desktop, it's done. Well, that took almost 2 seconds to do that. Yeah, there's an image. There's a reason. Now you got 3 of those images on one page. That could be 10, 15 seconds just from those 3 images. So if you're on the mobile device, it's, oh, that one page, that one image loaded. Because mobile devices do not have the capabilities of a desktop. As you guys all use your mobile devices, you go, wow, this thing is screaming fast. Compare it to your desktop. You can even go to the stats. What's the processor speed for your mobile device? How much cache does your mobile device have? Those two are huge in any type of computer. If the processor is not fast enough, it can't load that fast. That's your biggest slowdown with a mobile device. So there's no way to get a bigger processor in this little tiny flat phone. You can't get the heat sink in there because the bigger processor that you have, the faster the processor is, it requires cooling. They have reached their limit in mobile devices for what can be done as far as a fast processor. They're still working on it to try to make them faster, but what you have is it. That's the end game, folks. You don't have a big space like in your box of your computer where you can have this great big thing, this tall thing of aluminum sitting on top of the processor to cool it off. That's 3 times the size of your phone, so it isn't going to fit in there. So they got to dumb down the processor. So phones are slow. As much as you think that everything you do, it works really fast, it's not. So you're thinking, well, why do we have to worry about phones? Hey, go talk to Google. Not me. Because there is such a push in the last 10 years of using a mobile device, and people who, like I said, basically 70% plus of the searches in Google are done on a mobile device. If that's the case, you do have to be concerned with mobile devices. Justin, you had a question. I'll get you to unmute here. Justin, you had a question?
Yes, I'm sorry. It's
Okay.
on my computer, it's still saying it's auditing my website, which is justingetsresults.com. So it still hasn't produced a report. Is that saying that my SEO is incredibly terrible, or is there something else wrong? Is it just so bad that they don't even want to give it a number, or
What's the URL?
justingetsresults.com?
And you got Justin Reeves on the homepage, right?
That's me
Okay.
in the flesh.
No, he's in the caricature.
Oh, shouldn't be. It's my picture.
He's in the picture. Mine's coming up. Not sure what you got going here, but you get a 60. Can you see that, Justin?
Do I say that again? I'm sorry.
You got a 60 for performance.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Everything else is okay, I guess, but the performance.
Remember, folks, SEO is not how good your SEO is on the page. This is
Oh.
technical SEO, meaning are the requirements for the technical parts, the code that's necessary to display to the bots,
Okay.
does it have what is necessary? So that the number about SEO does not mean you did a bang up job with your SEO on the page. No, that is not it. That has nothing to do with it. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah. So the accessibility needs, well, the performance needs a step. Okay. Got it.
Performance is the one that's telling you your page is slow.
Got it.
It won't be sent. It won't be in the search results for mobile devices at 60.
Hmm.
So even if your SEO is 100%, which this doesn't tell you that,
Right.
this doesn't tell you the quality of your SEO. If it was 100%, you're still not going to hit the mobile devices. You'll be in the desktop devices, search results, but you won't be served to mobile devices.
Interesting. Okay. So my assistant puts a lot of my stuff up. Like, I do open houses, do the flyers for opens and stuff like that. And, I put it on the site and, the Google reviews and all that stuff. And some of my listings and da-da-da-da, I don't know.
You can do that stuff, but I prefer when I'm getting into that, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to go. What was it, Justin? What?
Getsresults.com.
Hey, Justin, this is Mark Sampson right next to you over here.
Yep.
Looking at your website, you have a lot of photographs and images on there. That maybe what's put the drags on your page.
Right. Right.
That's, I was just getting over here to Firefox is my standard browser.
I'm using a graphics light web page, and I have stripped a lot of stuff out of it, and I'm getting much better speeds out of it. So, of course, my business is taxation, so I don't have a lot of images to put up.
Images
Right.
are usually the downfall of a website. And with Firefox, it's simple. You go to, in Firefox, you go to the page, and up at the top menu bar, you click on Tools, Page Info, And then there is another little window that opens up, and I'll show you that.
So the interesting thing is this, is that, my assistant does this stuff. Don't ask me to get into computers. That's why I'm an agent. We don't want to,
Well, you
so I'm a
may
real estate
not.
agent.
But
Was that?
you may not do this yourself, but you need to know what's going on with the site to tell
Right.
those who take care of it what to do. So I was
Okay.
getting to your images. You click on media once this little window pops up in Firefox, and you can see every image in this particular page. I can
Right.
save them if I wanted to. Now I'm going to get down to a couple of larger images and see what we can find. We do see large images. They're not even being shown as a smaller one. This is just a loader.
Interesting.
So there's some very large pictures. Now, dimensions are one way of talking about an image. The other way is the weight. This is almost 142 kilobytes. Generally speaking, other than the header in a page, if your images are around 16 kilobytes, that's about as big as you want them to be. Well, you're 141,000. And this one is not so big. Here's a problem. This is what most people have. Here's an image that is scaled. If it's scaled, that means the browser has made it smaller to fit in the area where it's being displayed. It's being displayed, its normal size was 988 by 1352, but it's scaled to 461 by 1352. Well, if it's scaled, then the reason for scaling is because it's in a smaller area than the picture was. And when you do that, if the picture is not in the correct aspect ratio, it could look real funky in a mobile device.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can
So
see-
images, go ahead, Arthur.
Yeah, you can see how the image is squeezed.
Yes.
It's all squeezed together, so it's not properly sized. If I could make a suggestion on your listings, the 5 houses that you had listed there,
Yeah.
I would get rid of the carousels. The
And the
images,
carousel is a what?
the sliders that when you got the little arrows that you can change the images on.
Go ahead. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, well, under my listings, you have 5 houses listed,
Yes.
and each house of the picture has little arrows that you can click
Right.
on. Okay, you really don't need to have those on your homepage.
Very, very fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna slow, all those images that's in them, it's called a carousel.
Yes.
That's gonna have a bearing on your page speed. So
Got
really,
it.
all you need is just one image and force people to click on.
Click on it to see them. Yeah. Very good point.
Yep.
Okay. I could do that one
Now,
because, go ahead.
well, what I was going to say, trying to wrap up and put it all together, folks, what you're seeing, we've gone from back in the 90s when you could just put something on the net to in the early 2000s, we realized there are ways to make it look nicer instead of just this really crappy looking thing, because that's all you could do, to WordPress and Joomla became available and you could do all sorts of stuff. And so sites became not only large, but having large images and, whoa, this is a really cool looking site. Trust me, the more cool looking site that you have, the more difficult it is for a mobile device to get into the page. The slower the page loads. People go, well, it doesn't look like a normal site. It's not you I'm trying to make happy. I'm trying to make sure that mobile devices can get into my website. If I have to get rid of a lot of the pictures, so be it. But as a developer, I can come up with ways that you can do things like this that don't slow down the page.
Okay,
So if I got you down to 90, that's one thing. But if that's as slow as the site gets, as slow as the page gets, okay. There are ways to do things that you, if you're going to have sliders, you need to have the right kind of slider so that it is mobile friendly and it optimizes all of those images. Every image you have needs to be the right size for where it appears and optimized so that you've taken out the weight of the image and replaced it. And guess what, folks? It'll look exactly the same.
so let me
Images
ask you
can-
this.
Images can only be displayed at 72 DPI on the internet.
Interesting.
So
Never knew that.
if you have a 300 DPI image, it's pointless and it's going to slow down the page for absolutely no reason. Because if you put a 300 DPI next to a 72 DPI image, you cannot tell the difference on the internet. There's no reason to slow your page down because of, yeah, but I got this really pretty picture. Photographers are big on that. And because you're in the house business, you want to make sure that, oh, I got this really nice looking home.
Exactly.
And it's a 300 DPI. Yeah, and it's also a 3 meg picture. Get it
Exactly.
off the page.
Hmm.
If you want to do something where you have small images and then it pops up the larger images, now you're on the right road to a
Got it.
fast page.
Got it.
So you put a small image in and anybody can click on that little tiny image that may be 100 by 100 pixel. And you can
Okay.
click on that and get this gigantic page that's 4 megabytes. It doesn't make any difference. You can do that.
Got it.
The person knew that's what they were going to get, is this gigantic picture. So if it takes a second and a half to load on a mobile device, they don't care. They wanted to do that.
Hmm.
So
Wow.
are a lot of ways to go through. The biggest thing that you all need to do is go through your images and make sure they're as small as possible for where they're going to be displayed. Can you get away with a smaller area? And once you've created it, you cropped it so the aspect ratio is correct, then it will appear on all devices correctly as it resizes. And I'm showing you this because you want this page. And I'm going to put this in the chat. Give it to everybody. Check your images. If you find that none of them are in the correct aspect ratio, well, then you've got images that mobile device people are going, the heck is this? Why is that image so weird looking? Or sometimes they just don't appear because it's too far out of aspect ratio. So there's a lot in images, but it's huge in page speed to get those pages up fast. Preferred image size. There isn't, this is what the size has to be for everything, or this has to be everything. That's not how it works. It's a matter of looking at each place that you're going to make an image appear, determine what size fits that area so that the browser doesn't have to resize the image. Then you make sure that you compress that image so it has as much information taken out of it as possible. It's very possible to take a 300 kilobyte image and drop it down to 10. If you get your images under 10 KB, great. But if you've got stuff that's 141,000 KB, yeah, that's a pretty slow image. And if you've got several of them on the page, you need to address those. I know we're over, but I think it was important enough that everybody understand you've really got to look at your own stuff and see what's going on. What do mobile devices see when they come to your pages? checking the image in Firefox? Yeah, that's simple. Pick a page, any page. Let's go to, whose site was I using before? That's not it. Okay. In Firefox, if you've got the menu, and if you don't have the menu up there, then right click and show the menu. See the check mark next to it? So you're in Firefox, click on Tools, Page Info, and this is going to open up a little tiny window. So I'll have to reshare my screen and show you this popped up window. Here it is. Now in this window, you click on Media, and it shows you all the images on this page.
Mm-hmm.
And you go through, click on one at a time to see, oh, what's this image? Well, that's this one. Look at the size difference. See how small that image is being displayed? And yet it's a 1366 by 768. That's a huge picture. Don't do that stuff.
Okay.
It's like 4 times the size it needs to be for what's being displayed.
Got it.
And it's 141,000 KB. An image that size should be, you could get it under 10 for that matter.
So how would I do that? I would just, let me put my, I don't even know where you got that image. I'm so sorry.
This particular image is on your homepage. It's the one on the right in the black background.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
That's a WebP image and 141 kilobytes.
That's huge.
It's not really.
Got it.
It's huge for the size, the dimensions that are being displayed.
Got it. Got it.
Same thing with the one next to it.
Yep, all of those. I know exactly. Got it.
Resize.
You know, but it's funny because people, you pay people or do whatever to do these things, and you don't know, and they throw stuff out there and looks pretty, like this looks nice. First of all, they're not even the zip codes. Like now that I'm looking at this is not the zip code of these places. They're just pictures that are pretty. And I never really paid attention to it because, me and my very non-tech self says, oh, that's nice. It's pretty.
Yep.
And then I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, that's not even the zip codes. So, got it.
So now you know why we took the painstaking efforts to get you to look at your own site using Lighthouse. It makes a big difference. I can show you till the cows come home, but if you don't do it yourself, it really doesn't hit home like, whoa, wait a minute. And then you start doing a whole bunch of pages. You start looking at several of them going, well, okay, well, I got to look at this one. Well, maybe, ratings are incredibly low. Paid for yours. Oh, trust me, folks. I hear that all the time. I paid somebody. Yes. You paid somebody who has no concern for your website.
Right.
They are getting their money and they're fine.
And they fly away.
Yeah. So just because you paid somebody to create a site for you doesn't mean they're really great at doing that. They know how to put it together, they make it pretty, and they're done. And in the case of, it may not be specifically your developer, Justin, but that's normal. The developer gets done and you go, wow, that site looks great. Well, what you don't know is they're not telling you about the performance of the site because they don't know themselves. If they did, they wouldn't have done that in the first place.
Right.
I think I'm letting it all soak in. We've lost quite a few because we're over, but I think you guys all get the idea. Just because you pay somebody to create it doesn't mean that they're the right person for the job.
Fair enough.
So if you need some help, optimizing, resizing images, that sort of thing, we can help you with that too. It doesn't have to be the entire project. There's times when I grabbed a couple of pictures just because somebody was saying they had problems. And I've grabbed a picture or two and I've optimized them, resized them, made sure they're the correct aspect ratio and say, there you go, no charge. And I'm glad, Cheryl, that it was enlightening. I'm hoping that everybody feels the same way. How about you, Kay?
Very enlightening. It's like a whole language. This is another language. So
It is.
it's just another language for me. And yes, and I was just my thinking, my orientation for SEO was connected to my Google My Business page. So, okay, so let me put content on there or whatever the case may be. And you know, I would get called Google calls, which is like free money.
Yeah.
You know, and I've done some, you know, so my thinking was, okay, how, you know, I saw this webinar. I'm like, oh, SEO increase, great, you know, unga bunga, you know, just basic stuff, right? And then to get on here and I just never knew. So
we get a lot of that. We get a lot of the, why did I come to your meeting? You just told me stuff that I don't want to know. Can't wait to go home and pull out my PC and go over everything we went through today. Yeah. Obviously need a lot of help. Thank you. And you're very welcome, Mary. If anybody needs help in specific or, you know, consulting or help on your images, just let us know. Either Arthur or I can get in touch. We're always around.
absolutely.
But
Thank you, gentlemen.
you're very welcome. Thank you for showing up today. And I hope that you come every week because we're always full of it. Sometimes we actually have good stuff that we tell you.
Thank you.
You betcha. And Katrina, thank you for showing up. Thank you for coming. Bill, I've got your head twisted. I can just see it. Sundance Yoga, that was Cheryl. She got it. Elizabeth, I know, gets it. Elizabeth, you're welcome. Welcome. I'll see you guys next week. Ooh, next week is going to really be a good start on more stuff. Thanks for coming, Steve. Oh, Steve, let me get you to unmute there. Did you not see that after I did it again for Firefox?
No, I did not.
Okay. Here we go. Open Firefox and make sure that you've got your menu up at the top left. Can you see this? Steve?
Yep.
Oh, okay. So you can see the menu up there. If you don't see that menu up there, just right click up at the top and then make sure that you check menu bar so that it does keep that check mark. Then go to Tools, Page Info, and that will pop up another little window that I will show you here. And then you want to select Media, which is the second one over. And that shows you all the images. Tells you where they are, the name of it, the size of it, the weight of it. Excuse me, the format. So you'll be able to get everything that you want.
Excellent. Thank
Then,
you.
like I was saying before, you can even select all the images and save them from this window on any site that you go to. So there's no hiding your images from Firefox.
I've got a e-commerce site that I'm just getting into. It's got over 300 images, and they're all like 300 and 400 KB, 1,000 KB.
Wow.
Is there I know in WordPress I've seen where they've got the squisher plugin or whatever you call it, to squish the images? That's not
There
with-
is, and I think Arthur even knows of one in specific, but I think you're better off making sure that instead of squeezing them, you're better off actually going back to them. And you can actually upload a mass amount to one of these compression sites. So I'll see if I can grab one here. I like this one, which is Optimizilla, but if you have WebP images, it won't do it for you. Then there's this tiny PNG, and it will do any image, and you can upload them. You know, you can drop them in, you can upload them however many you want at a time. And then it'll download in a zip file if you uploaded a bunch at the same time. So it's pretty fast.
Right.
Just as an example. This is a real silly image, but there, it just got compressed. You see how fast that is?
All right.
And then you download that. And you tell it where you want to download.
Just upload it back to the site again.
And then you'd upload it back to your website. You replace the one that you have in the website.
Okay. Have some work to do.
Yeah. We hear that a lot. That's enough for today.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming, Brian.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Any other questions? Okay, you're probably on your way home because I knew that you said you were in a hurry. You forgot to turn off your device. And Cheryl, you're on your way. Thanks, folks. We'll see you next week.